Thanks for joining us. This is the World News at 12 on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. I am Solomon Hoffem. First, our top stories. Rivers Assembly members insist on impeachment proceedings against Governor Fubara and Deputy. Atiku Abubakar addresses son's defection to APC. President Tinubu honors fallen heroes as Nigeria marks Armed Forces Remembrance and Celebration Day. U.S. votes $430 million for counterinsurgency campaigns in Nigeria and other African countries. On international scene, Venezuelan Nobel Peace Prize winner Maria Corina Machado presents her medal to Donald Trump. And in sport, Anthony Joshua returns to the gym following car crash that killed two of his close friends. Those are our top stories. Details coming up in just a moment. We begin the news at 12 with politics, where River State House of Assembly on Friday voted to continue with the impeachment process against Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his deputy Ngozi Odu. The lawmakers who addressed the live press conference in Port Harcourt accused Fubara of blackmail, saying he lacked the trust needed to address the crisis rocking the oil-rich state. They accused the governor of infringing on the 1999 constitution, saying the parliament was left with no other choice but to apply their legislative power by impeaching him from office. The lawmakers also claimed that the governor and his deputy had resorted to intimidating the parliament. They, however, thanked President Bola Tinubu for wading into the crisis. They also called on the Speaker Martin Zamawale to reconvene the House. Four members of the House who had held pressers calling for a political solution recanted and declared their support for the impeachment process to continue. Shortly after the live press conference, the lawmakers made their way to the chambers for the commencement of a parliamentary session. At plenary, the members unanimously voted in support of an investigation of the allegations of gross misconduct against Fubara and his deputy. Still on party politics, Nigeria's former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has reacted to his son's defection to the ruling All Progressives Congress APC, saying it is a personal choice. Atiku's son Abba Abubakar defected from the People's Democratic Party (PDP) to the APC on Thursday and promised to work to ensure President Bola Tinubu's re-election in 2027. In his reaction, Atiku stated that such choices are not unusual in a democracy, adding that he does not coerce his children in matters of conscience. The defection announced that the National Assembly Abuja is being viewed within political circles as a symbolic and strategic blow to Tinubu's presidential ambition and a major boost to the APC's consolidation effort, particularly in the Northeast. Popularly known as Abba, the younger Atiku was formally received by the Deputy President of the Senate, Senator Barau Jibrin, alongside key APC leaders from the Northeast geopolitical zone in what party leaders described as a significant political realignment. Addressing party leaders and supporters at the event, Abubakar announced his resignation from the PDP and declared his full alignment with the APC, describing the move as historic and deeply personal. He also described and directed all coordinators and members of his political structure, formerly known as the Ask Atiku organization, which he founded in 2022, to immediately join the APC and mobilize support for President Tinubu's. The armed forces in the country mark the Armed Forces Remembrance and Celebration Day in a significant a statement signed on Thursday. Tinubu remembered the brave men and women of the Nigerian armed forces who sacrificed everything for the nation. The president said, and I quote, "Their names might not always be remembered, but their courage sustains our freedom and peace. A nation that forgets its fallen heroes loses its direction. Nigeria, however, remembers." End of quote. Tinubu paid tribute to the families of the fallen heroes, acknowledging their loss and reassuring them that the nation will never forget the sacrifices made by their loved ones. While celebrating members of the armed forces still in active service for their discipline, courage, and professionalism, Tinubu reaffirmed his commitment to their welfare and dignity. Vice President Kashim Shettima represented President Tinubu in the activities to mark the Armed Forces Remembrance and Celebration Day in Abuja on Thursday. The Senate President Godswill Akpabio and Deputy Senate President Benjamin Kalu, Minister of Defense Christopher Musa were among dignitaries in attendance. They were led to the cenotaph in a solemn march by soldiers, where they laid a wreath in remembrance of the fallen heroes who gave their lives in service to the nation. Special prayers were also conducted for the living and fallen heroes who fought gallantly for global peace and national integration. The United States plans to spend 587 billion naira, that's $413.043 million, on counterinsurgency operations in Nigeria and other African countries in 2026 amid worsening security conditions across West Africa. The allocation is contained in the U.S. National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2026. The security budget for the U.S. Africa Command comes against the backdrop of the Christmas Day attacks on terrorist hideouts in Secretary of State by the Donald Trump administration. On Tuesday, AFRICOM delivered a consignment of military equipment to Nigerian security agencies as part of ongoing efforts to strengthen security operations across the country. The NDAA 2026 is a comprehensive bill that outlines defense policy priorities and authorities and $901 billion, authorizes $901 billion in annual military spending with a 4% pay rise for troops. AFRICOM requested $413.046 million, and the same amount was authorized, but the act did not provide a breakdown of how the funds will be spent. The act was signed into law by President Trump on December 18, 2025, marking the 65th consecutive annual authorization. The $413 million budget for security operations comes as West Africa continues to grapple with insurgency, banditry, and violent extremism. In Nigeria, insurgency in the northeast and banditry in the northwest persist, even as piracy and other maritime crimes remain concerns in the Gulf of Guinea. Mali is under persistent attacks by jihadist groups, while North Benin has witnessed a spillover of violence from the Sahel. As fuel prices, foreign exchange, and economic stability dominate conversations among Nigerians at home and abroad, Dangote Petroleum Refinery PLC says it has achieved a daily offtake of 50 million liters of premium motor spirit (PMS), marking a major milestone for Nigeria's downstream petroleum sector. The refinery says with the delivery of the 50 million liters of petrol daily, Nigeria positions itself closer to energy self-sufficiency and global fuel standards. The newly appointed managing director, David Bird, cited seamless fuel supply during the Christmas and New Year holidays as evidence of growing operational stability. He explained that while demand fluctuates, particularly on weekends, the refinery remains confident it can sustain volumes and export surplus when necessary. Bird described the milestone as a significant operational achievement for the refinery. Beyond volume, Bird said Nigeria is now consuming Euro 5 standard fuels, the same quality exported to Europe and markets such as Dubai. He criticized the historic dumping of substandard fuel products in West Africa, noting that Dangote Refinery's output represent a major public health improvement due to lower sulfur content and cleaner emissions. Bird said the company's long-term strategy focuses on capacity expansion and industrial ecosystem development, including a major push into petrochemicals. The refinery currently operates at 800,000 tons of polypropylene plant with plans to scale output of 2.4 million tons through additional PDH units. Future diversification may include detergents, base oils, lubricants, and liquefied petroleum gas (LPG), driven by import, substitution, and population-led demand. We are still on to the news at 12 on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We'll go for a short break. We'll be right back with our news analysis. If you're just tuning in, this is the World News at 12 on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Joining me to help analyze our news item is Raymond Adegboyega. He's a current affairs analyst, professor of accounting, banking and finance, British American University of Florida, USA. Professor Adegboyega, thank you very much for joining us on the World News at 12.
Good afternoon.
So let's go to the major topic for discussion on our news item, which is Rivers State House of Assembly today vowed to continue with the impeachment process against Governor Similai Fubara and his deputy Ngozi Odu. One begins to wonder what exactly is going on in Rivers State, considering there was a public reconciliation, a public show of reconciliation between the Rivers State Governor Similai Fubara and his immediate past predecessor and the current FCT minister Nyesom Wike. And when he defected to APC with a huge number of the Rivers State House of Assembly members, one would have expected that these political war is over, but it appears this is only just at the beginning. What's your take on that?
Thank you so much. In the first instance, you have to realize one thing, that who are the people that actually defected to the APC? Are they people of the same minds? In the first instance, they are not people of the same mind. Governor on his own and his deputy, and also the House of Assembly on their own, and Wike on his own. Wike is with the National Assembly. You have to realize that the two parties going to APC, they are going to APC for their own personal interest. Fubara is going there to protect his own governorship position, while the National Assembly and Wike are trying to protect their own interests in terms of dominating Rivers politics. So there are two sets of people having different opinions and focus. So I expected something more drastic than this, that would be more pathetic in the future. Because really? Let me give you an instance.
I mean, most of us thought that it's over.
It's not over. It can never be over. This is Nigerian politics. You have to realize, and you have to ask, you have to look from the antecedent, what actually started this problem. It's not over. They have just started. I'm telling you, I'm sorry to say that we are going to see more pathetic things. Let me give you information. Because by the time, even if Fubara should get second-time ticket from the APC, and it still allow this same set of members of the House to be in the House in the second time, it's more pathetic for him, because there's one thing.
But he's not in choice. His choice. I mean,
can I say something? There's a way out of it. I can say I will talk about it. There's a way out of it.
Okay.
You understand? Hello?
Yeah. Well, go on. We can hear you, sir.
Yeah. There's a way out of it. The first thing, what I'm thinking is that look at the condition given to him. So by the time he comes in the second time, this House will continue with their impeachment if they cannot impeach him now, because I'm sorry to say that this issue of Mr. President involved is only safeguarding his own interest. Tinubu is trying to safeguard his own in Rivers State to make sure he wins. And the moment the Tinubu wins the second time, and the Fubara now wins, now these people will start and Tinubu will answer. And these people will have chance to deal with Fubara fully. I'm saying it. Now, the only way out for
in
Fubara,
his second term, I mean,
yes,
there'll be nothing to lose when when he comes back in the second term.
and there's so many things to lose. What about if they impeach him? They will have time to impeach him because there's no way he can fight them. So far, they are the one dominating the house. You don't understand. That's the one problem for him. Because there's one thing that I'm looking towards. I'm perceiving. Is God, the Speaker of the House, is interested in that position. He wants to become governor by all means. If you see the way it's actually been showing up. And that's why Fubara is in a really terrible problem. But the only way out for him, although he's not a good politician the way I see, if he's actually is a good politician that can maneuver, the way for him is to look for how he can get more people from different political parties to actually vote for national and Rivers State House of Assembly. And those people will not be the one that will dominate the house. Because if it's the same set of, and there's no people that actually mingle with them in order to diffuse their power and reduce their the might.
I mean, a good number of them are loyal to Wike, and of course, Wike has a bigger
that's what I'm saying.
Wike have a bigger power in Rivers politics than
that's what I'm saying. Because what Wike is trying to do is to make sure he retains those number of people that have majority. Yes, godfatherism, and make sure that the moment he still dominates the house, he will continue to actually make sure that it's giving Fubara a problem. But if Fubara being a real politician that can actually move and have grassroots support, he can actually, I'm sorry to say it, he can sponsor people from other political parties to come to the House of Assembly. And the moment they win, they will actually diffuse the authority and might of those people in the assembly. If that care is not taken, the same thing, he's going to face a lot of more pathetic problems that he may not be able to live with. So in the first instance, the only way for him is to make sure that he start looking for ways to make sure that those powerful House of Assembly, the powerful assembly, is demystified and find way to reduce their strength, because Wike is ready to go all out for him at second time. Because you have to realize the game of Wike, what Wike is trying to do is focus in 2031. I don't understand. That is the focus. And he believes that as soon as he destroyed the PDP and Rivers State government power, he'll be able to dominate Rivers and then come out to become president of Nigeria. And that's it. That was he trying to do.
What's the game plan, though? Because, he won the battle, the last time around. Fubara bowed to him and apologized to him. There was a public show of reconciliation, saying with Fubara obviously saying, well, you've won the political game. And one would have expected with Fubara defecting to the APC, it means Wike's work in trying to make sure Rivers State is dominated by APC is done. I mean, even though he technically is still in PDP, the insinuation is that he's an APC mole in
PDP.
Yeah,
agree.
So one would have expected that, well, he's won the battle. Fubara has submitted to him. Fubara have defected to APC, which is what Tinubu wanted. So what more does he want? Does he think if Fubara comes back in second term, it will diminish his political power in Rivers State?
Go and write it down. You have said it all. That's what Wike is. Because Wike is looking at it that this guy has come to APC, and you look at the national secretary of APC, the way he's embracing Fubara. And that's a kind of a threat for Wike. That's enough for Wike to be threatened and not to be looking at it that this guy, if he comes back second time, the game will not be the same, and things will not work in the same manner. And there's one thing you have to realize: we are all human beings. Fubara, because the intention of Fubara is to bow and go to APC. He not do it as his own free will. He just did it as a way just to protect his own political interest and make sure that he just come back second time. That's the Nigerian factor. But Wike is not feeling so at ease with Fubara in APC. Okay. He was thinking that Fubara will just continue to stay aloof and won't get any ticket anywhere. so that he will not be able to come back as a governor of Rivers in
In other
2027.
words, you think he didn't see Fubara's defection to APC coming? He didn't expect that.
He didn't expect it. He didn't expect it. He was thinking that Fubara will still stay on his leg and say that no, I'm still with PDP or any party. I'm going to any other party. But for mere fact that Fubara went to PDP, APC, and you see the kind of support he has been actually gaining from the members of the top members of the APC is actually being a threat to him. I'm telling you. So Wike, he has. There's no amount of apology. There's no way Fubara can respect. There's no way Fubara can give to him. He will continue to make sure he make life so unbearable for Fubara, especially in terms of governance in Rivers State. So we are seeing him as somebody that's not is insatiable with any condition he is in. He's a terrible man being, I'm telling you. So and Fubara, what Fubara needs to do is to move fast and liaise with people of Rivers State, especially the grassroots people and the elderly people and those are concerned that want the progress of Rivers State. They should find a way of demystify the power of that National Assembly. If no care is not taken, they are going to put Rivers State into more chaos, and it may result into large violence and something that is unbearable. Because I'm saying it openly, the moment Tinubu gets his second time, he will not care about most of this state again. He will only center on what he wants to do, whether he's ready to assist Nigeria or himself will just use his second time for his own benefit.
Now,
I'm saying
it will be interesting to see how the president reacts to this, because I mean the president has supported Wike all through.
When I read that, when I start reading, although I don't believe on most of the things I read on the paper that the president is supporting Fubara, they are playing games with him. They are politicians. These two people are real politicians, I'm telling you, and they are very statics and very terrible people. You know, Fubara needs to be very careful. You have to be very careful.
So you think Fubara's defection to APC isn't exactly a guarantee to get the support from the president?
I'm telling you, it's not a guarantee. He may get the ticket, but he may not get the support when after 2027 election. You will see what's going to happen. Because there are some people now in the APC.
But for now, getting a ticket is the main focus, I would assume. Fubara, once he gets the tickets, and it means he has won that war against.
He has not. If he receives tickets, he has won that war. Why is not? So far, he's joined APC now. Why is not winning the war? And you have to it is politics. Some of us that actually know the antecedents on politics and the tactics. And we don't play with in Ibadan. I'm telling you, because the kind of policy we play in Nigeria is a terrible one. We practice telling you politics our politics is very, very dirty. You understand? Everybody is only interested in his own personal interest, not in the national interest. So Fubara getting tickets is not automatically from that. We will not have problems second time. What he needs to do is to work hard and see how he can actually. I'm saying it, and you will see as at that time I'll be reminding you, he must actually reduce the strength and power of that National Assembly. The moment he cannot do that, there's no way he can actually rule successfully. Because those members, the moment they form majority, they will be given one problem or the other, and it will be more pathetic than now. That's the way I see it.
Well, it will be interesting to. I will be watching to see how this goes, and of course, it will be interesting to see how the president finally reacts to it. This is a political chess game going on.
Yes.
Here. Now, still talking politics. In a weird twist of fate, Nigeria's former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, his son. Abba Abubakar defected from the People's Democratic Party PDP to the APC yesterday, promising to work to ensure President Bola Tinubu's re-election in 2027. I mean, the politics in Nigeria and on the road to 2027 keep getting weirder and weirder. What's your take on this?
In the first instance, I'm not moved. I'm not interested. I will tell you that there's nothing so special about it. Who is that guy in the first instance? Who is he? What is the weight? And at the same time,
it is not about the guy though. It's about the father. I mean,
let me tell you what it today. You have to ask fundamental question. How many children is Atiku Abubakar having? in the first instance. A band that's having over 20, 30, 40 children, and one is coming out to say that I want to join another political party. Then I don't say I come from polygamous house. I know what it's meant to be in a polygamous house. But you have to start from there. That's why I'm not so interested, because I don't know the number of children at Atiku, but I know that he has more than 20 or more than 30 children.
Does it matter at this point?
It matters. It matters. Let me tell you, it's not because if you are from a polygamous, you cannot. That will not be interesting you, because somebody can just wake up and say, I'm going against my father because of one thing or the other. But at the same time, you have to realize, it is that time I'm telling you about APC, just getting people anyhow because they want support, they want to demystify the other political parties. That's not interesting, because this guy is coming as what? This guy is coming because of what? This guy is coming, what as the antecedent? What is actually moving to say he wants to join APC? These are the things that are fundamental. People are just getting people into APC anyhow just because for the sake of it. And you don't realize one thing, that Wiki said something yesterday or David, that those people that just join APC, they have nowhere to, place to find themselves, that they only come in when they actually finish cooking the soup. And
but here's the thing, though. It's not like he defected from just any party. He defected from the People's Democratic Party.
Yeah, can I ask you?
And then look at the reaction it has gotten. The fact that
there is no reaction we get in Nigeria. We are not politically mature. I'm saying it. I'm still saying it. We are not politically mature. It doesn't move me. I don't know. When I read it, I just laugh. I just look at one of those things. PDP is already destroyed. Can I ask you one question? Can I ask you one question?
Okay.
Is there any PDP? Is there any that party? Is that party existing anymore? You tell me in the first instance. So people defecting from PDP to is when people defect from ADC to PDP and APC. Now you can be talking, because PDP is not existing. It's why everybody is looking for where he can actually safeguard his own interest and have a cover up. You understand, from the umbrella that's already broken.
It was announced at the National Assembly. He was
received
by the deputy president of the Senate.
Who is deputy president? Who are these Senate presidents? Who are they? What are their might? What are the clamor they are adding to Nigerian politics? Are they not these people that are actually messing up at international level? My brother, let me tell you, we need to face reality in this country.
Senator Barau Jibril doesn't have a clout in APC.
Even the Senate president himself, let him receive him. Let the old senators receive him in the National Assembly. What does that mean? What are they been doing for Nigeria? What's their value? What's their added value to Nigerian politics? To what they add value to Nigerian living, suffering, hungry people, suffering, hungry people? Mere fact, Atiku's son, one of your Atiku's children, let us know the number of children. Let us know what happened. As time goes on, you will see that you see the situation of things. Atiku son coming in. We have a Mark. I think the son of a Mark or a daughter of Mike in APC. There's a daughter of this my Kaduna man. What do you call his name? Erufai. It's not in APC. What's so special about that? I don't see it. I say we don't have ideal political party in Nigeria where you see a whole family belongs to one political party because of their ideology and their belief. But Nigeria, we move to a party that is a ruling party because we want to protect our own political interest. So Atiku child coming in, he knows that will actually give him more score and put him more ahead about his colleagues in where he comes from. You understand? Because people will say, this Atiku, we used to spite Atiku. That's why I always ask questions. What's the political weight? What's the political weight of Atiku? What's the political weight of Passenger? What's the political weight of Obi? All of them. And of Jimmy, what's the political weight? What's their political weight?
Be it as it may, though, it's if not anything, it will be a distraction for Atiku, considering he has one thing common with Tinubu, with the fact that they are desperate. They probably can do anything just to become a president of APC.
That's what I'm saying. Because
Tinubu is now the president, which means he has fulfilled that lifelong dream. What is left with Atiku? And one would have expected that, if not for anything, at least family would support his presidential ambition. But, your family now going against you, especially at the time when Nigerians are calling for opposition parties to come together and remove APC and the President Bola Tinubu administration, if not for anything, because of the perceived not being able to deal with the insecurity situation and, of course, the economic situation in this country. And what would
why, yes, thank you. That's why I'm saying that that guy had no value to Nigerian political terrain that is going on now. Have you forgotten when Obasanjo was in power? Was he not one of his wives that actually came out as president of the? She contested from another political as a presidential candidate. So what can you say about that? Have you not been in this country why an Obasanjo's wife, one of them maybe a soldier, I don't know, a rank, was saying that Obasanjo is not competent to become the Nigerian president? Are you not in this country where you see that majority of our past people have been done, their family have come out and raised an eyebrow against them? So please, this is a Nigerian factor. Nigeria is a state that we play this game of bitter politics in Nigeria too much. I'm saying it's a matter of time. Let's wait and see what's going on. What actually prompted the guy to say he wants to join Tinubu? But to me, I would say that if it's a mature and organized system, there's nothing bad in that. I will actually see it as a threat to Atiku's political ambition. But let's see the response of Atiku and some other people from his political family. Let's see what
Atiku has, reacted about it, saying.
And what do you say? Because I've not read anything. But
he said, it's his choice.
You can see now. Can you see? Can you see now? So, and at the same time,
democracy.
Yes,
as in that
agree.
He does not coerce his children, and
I'm so happy that guy made that statement. You can see now. Why the uproar in Nigeria? Why people are not saying that Atiku, because you can see, and it can be a game of plan. I'm telling you, this politics, it can be a game of plan. My father, let me go and join this guy, and they have their not ambition. I'm telling you, you can do a game of plan, and at the same time, not game of plan. That guy, if he's doing on his one, you see the way Atiku respond, and that's what I expected from him. So you cannot. I don't think that if people is a mature person and more politically mature, it will not give many. I'm saying it today. If I'm contesting and my son says or my daughter says they are not contesting, they are not going along with me, I will not quarrel with them. Because everybody has his own ideology, his own belief. We are living on our own. Everybody will be on his own, on our own. Okay. You understand? That's where, but to me, I don't see it as anything so serious. I see that it's one of those things that terrain that's going on in Nigeria that when people are now moving from their political to APC to get shit. That's where I see it's a personal interest. It doesn't. I don't see it as a serious issue. I don't see it as a serious.
Well,
I don't see it.
Away from politics now, the President Tinubu has honored Nigeria's fallen heroes and reaffirmed his support for the armed forces as the country marks the Armed Forces and Remembrance Day celebration. And of course, these Armed Forces and Remembrance Day celebration is coming under the cloud of the insecurity situation in Nigeria and how armed personnel have sacrificed themselves, to make sure this insecurity is nipped in the bud. When you also consider that there have been a lot of complaints that there's not enough support from the federal government, if not for anything, arms and ammunition. There have been complaints that these bandits, these insurgency, even have more sophisticated weapons, than the Nigerian army. What's your take on these Armed Forces Remembrance Day?
To be honest, there's nothing bad in celebrating or remembering our past hero, but there's one thing you have to realize, that this time for the military itself to be sincere with Nigerians, not with the president. I won't say not with the country, or with the government. They have to be sincere. If they are lacking so many things, let them come. If they are not coming and telling the own Nigerian who can actually tell the government that support these people in anything that they did, they can actually stem down this issue of insurgents. We will continue to face this terrible problem, and people will be blackmailing the military circle. And then you have to see that because of every sector of the economy has been bastardized. That's why the Nigerian government is not taking care of this military sector of the Nigeria, and the insecurity is now becoming something that's rampant. So I believe that if you look at the kind of arms that they find with Malami, you can see now, and these are the things that we have been told, that this kind of sophisticated arms are going to be used by our military personnel who are actually fighting for the safety of the Nigeria. But so far that you can see that, even look at Dasuki ammunition fraud, this arm dealing fraud. These are the things that actually creating more problems with this military circle. So it's high time for the federal Nigerian government to actually be sincere to the Nigeria and Nigerian people and try to use our money judicially for something that actually can protect us and give us food, because people are hungry. There are all this insecurity you are talking about. Majority of the costs were being because of the hardship in the country. Because I don't see how can somebody group of people, you give their arms to them to go and start killing their fellow human beings, because they don't have anything to eat, or they have anything to follow. That's why they actually fall into that victim. So I believe that it's time for us in Nigeria to face the reality and let this military have the necessary equipment and ammunition and everything, and even in terms of their welfare, we need to actually take care of them. The time has come for us in Nigeria. The government has not been so serious to dealing with insecurity, and that's why the military personnel are being treated in such manner. I salute our heroes, and I know God will, especially those ones that are falling, God will actually take care of their families. That Nigeria needs to do something right now. It's a matter of urgency.
Professor Adegboyega, it's always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much for your
time.
Thank
you so much. Thank you, sir. Yeah, bye.
That was a Raymond Adegboyega, current affairs analyst, a professor of accounting, banking and finance, British American University, Florida, USA. And for a quick look at what's happening outside Nigeria, Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado has given her Nobel Peace Prize medal to President Donald Trump during a meeting at the White House, saying it was a recognition rather of his commitment to her country's freedom. Trump said on social media that the move was a wonderful gesture of mutual respect, but the Nobel Committee said the prize itself was not transferable. The U.S. president has declined to endorse Machado as Venezuela's new leader, despite her movement claiming victory in 2024's widely contested elections. Trump has instead been dealing with the acting head of state in Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez, Maduro's former vice president. But he said meeting Machado was a great honor, calling her a wonderful woman who has been through so much. After leaving the White House, Machado spoke to supporters gathered at the gate outside, telling them in Spanish, quote, "We can count on President Trump." Trump, who often speaks about his desire to be awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, has expressed displeasure when it was given to Machado, and she decided to accept the honor last year. Machado said last week that she would share it with Trump, but the committee later clarified it was not transferable. And now to sports news. Anthony Joshua has returned to the gym following the recent car crash which killed two of his close friends and team members. The 36-year-old former world heavyweight champion sustained minor injuries in the incident in Nigeria on 29 December. Sina Gami and Latif Ayodele died when their vehicle, in which Joshua was also a passenger, collided with a stationary truck on a major road, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. 19 days after the crash, Joshua has posted a video on Snapchat showing him hitting pads and working out with the message "Mental Strength Therapy" at the bottom of one clip. He beat Jake Paul in Miami on 19 December, 10 days before the crash occurred while he was on holiday in Nigeria. Last week, he posted a tribute to his strength and conditioning coach, Gami, and trainer Ayodele on Instagram. Promoter Dehan believes that Joshua will return to boxing when the time is right. Before we go, let's take a look at our top stories again. Rivers Assembly members insist on impeachment proceedings against Governor Fubara and his deputy Ngozi Odu. We also brought a story that Atiku Abubakar addresses son's defection to APC. President Tinubu honors fallen heroes as Nigeria marks Armed Forces Remembrance and Celebration Day. And U.S. votes $413 million for counterinsurgency campaigns in Nigeria and other African countries. On our international scene, Venezuelan Nobel Peace Prize winner Maria Corina Machado presents a medal to Trump. And in sport, Anthony Joshua returns to the gym following a car crash that killed two of his close friends. And that's the World News at 12 from Voice of the People 90.3 FM. I am Solomon Ofem. Do follow our social media handles at VOP903FM. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at VOP903FM. Good afternoon and thank you for listening.